depart.
And as she fainted in the aisle,
A nun from Leicester lost her wits.
You might avoid the first or second row.
Blood may spill, its spines may chill, it's ghastly still. We thought you ought to know it's only just past 8. It's not too late,
For God's sake, for God's sake,
for God's sake, go!
Pentonville Prison, 19th of October, 1909. This is the memoir and perhaps final confession of Lord Navarro, 9th Earl of Highhurst. It is a fact of life that no one ever really tells the truth about himself. But, in the event of my execution, while I still have time, I have decided to leave behind a purely factual record of events. I suppose one could call it a gentleman's guide to murder. Or should I say love and murder? My story begins, as stories often do, with a quite unexpected visitor.
If there's a Sawyer Street in all of Clapham, I'm sure I've never seen it.
Pardon me, but do we know each other?
Only since the moment you were given birth by your sweet mother.
You knew Mother. I've only just returned from her funeral.
My poor dear Isabel, bless her soul. Look at himself, all grown up and handsome as the devil.
How was it you knew Mother, Mrs.
Miss Shingle? Marietta Shingle.
Oh, of course, Miss Shingle. Mother spoke of you often, and how she looked forward to your letters.
And I assure you. You were going to offer me a spot of tea, were you?
You must forgive my manners, Miss Shingle. Mother always had a kettle going.
And if you could spare me a biscuit or two, I'm sure I wouldn't mind. I knew you and your mother were having a rough time of it, but I didn't know it had come to this. Have you any prospects, love?
Mother always dreamt I should go to Oxford or Cambridge. Somehow. It seems rather unlikely now.
Your mother always knew best for you.
I hardly know how I shall go on without her.
You rather favor your father. Physically, I mean.
You knew Father. He died when I was but 7.
Only met him once, love. Castilian, you know. As dashing a face and figure as you will ever see. Tell me, love, what do you know of your mother's family?
She never spoke of them. Must have been curs and mountebanks. Horse thieves at the very least.
Well, not exactly. Have you ever heard of the Dysquith family?
The Dysquiths? Of course, hasn't everyone?
Then you've heard of Ayers Castle?
Of course.
You're aware, then, of their position, their vast wealth and influence.
Yes. What's it got to do with me?
You're a Dysquith.
What?
You're a Dysquith.
No.
Oh, the Dysquith blood is flowing through you.
Me, a Dysquith?
A genuine bona fide Dysquith.
Rubbish.
Of course, you don't believe me, do you?
You must be mad.
I'm as sane as the day is long, and by my estimation, only 8 other relations stand between you and the current Earl of Ayers, Lord Adalbert Dysquith himself.
I think you're mistaken. Mother took in laundry and scrubbed floorboards until her hands bled. Does that sound like the life of an heiress to you?
Very well then, if your mother was not a Dysquith, what was her maiden name?
She always insisted the only name that mattered was my father's.
Your mother lived like a princess in every way, the daughter of Lord Maximilian, till she met your father one fateful day. She knew it was love, and yet The family declared she'd been led astray by a conniving Castilian. Let him know, or else you'll know a life you will live to regret. This is no idle threat. You're a dice quith. You're a perfectly breachable dice quith. And the dice quith does your duty, don't forget. There was nothing your mother could say. She eloped with your father the very next day.
So she was disinherited?
In a word, yes. Despicable, the lot of them.
No wonder. The awful bouts of sadness she so tried to hide. And her obsession that I should rise above my station.
Oh my, I haven't seen this jukebox in years. It was given to your mother by the old Earl himself.
Yes, I found it hidden among Mother's belongings. Can't make out how it opens, though.
Like this?
Letters. Dozens of them. Addressed in Mother's hand to members of the Dysquith family?
Anything else?
A document. My birth certificate? Montague Dysquith Navarro. So it's true then. To think how she must have suffered.
Your mother made me promise I'd never tell, but now she is no longer living. She wanted to spare you her private hell, but I think you deserve to know. Take this knowledge and use it well. The family may yet be forgiving. This'll guarantee you've the right to be on the family tree, and it seems to me indisputably you're a dice quith, a D''Y quith. There could be no other way to view it. Montague, you're a dice quith.
I'm all of a sudden a Dysquith.
Yes, and this time that everybody knew it. You are the son of the daughter of the grandson of the nephew of the second Earl of Ireland's daughter.
And I am the son of the daughter of
The grandson
sorry.
of
Of the second Earl of Ireland. The thought occurred, why should I believe a woman who might very well be insane? And yet, there seemed to be an air of authenticity to this document. I'm a Dysquith.
You're a dice
I'm
quith.
a Dysquith.
You're a dice quith. Montague, I picture you at Highhurst.
Yesterday I was Monty Navarro.
You can be an Earl tomorrow.
And Highhurst could be my hearse. I'm a Dysquith.
You're a dice quith.
A Dysquith, a Dysquith, a Squid. To Lord Asquith Dysquith, Chief Officer, Dysquith Banking House, Bond Street, London. Dear Lord Dysquith, allow me to introduce myself. I am the son of your late cousin, Isabel Dysquith Navarro. It happens I am in need of employment, and I'm writing to ask if you may possibly find room for me in the office of your stockbroking firm. I am considered honest and reliable, not without intelligence or common sense, and I am not daunted at the prospect of hard work. I look forward to your reply most eagerly. Sincerely yours, Montague Dysquith Navarro.
Monty?
Sabella!
Monty.
Oh, Sabella, I've wonderful news. You're not going to believe it!
Don't you just love me in pink? Would you please please.
Yes, but...
Maybe a flower for my hair, no. Yes, no, violet, no, a tower of roses, I think. Look, you brought me chocolates. Oh no, I don't dare. Do you hate these earrings? Now the truth, don't be kind, I don't mind, because I hate them too. No, don't squeeze. Monty, you're a tease. Oh, Monty, look, my shoes.
Of course, I should really like to...
I don't know what I'd do without you. I have never met another man who's half as dear as you. You're so clever too, and you make me laugh more than anybody. Why are the men so dreary, Monty, and so deadly dull? No one holds a conversation half as beautifully as you.
Of course. And there is a matter of
You
some...
haven't said a word about my dress. You're brute. Look, see how it moves when I tap 2, 3, 1, 2. It's a bit much for Pepper, but nevertheless, maybe just a bite, just to be polite. Monty, that's too tight. Monty, that's just right. Oh, what I put you through. I don't know what I do. I do not have a clue. I don't know what I do without you.
Oh, Sabella, something miraculous has happened.
What?
It's too fantastic. I have just learned that I am in the line of succession to become Earl of Highhurst.
Earl of Highhurst?
Yes! It seems Mother was a dicewith, which means that I am a dicewith too.
My mother was the Queen of Sheba. I believe that makes me Princess of Babylon.
You shouldn't make fun. It's true, you know. And there are only 8 other people before me at 9, which means I could be Earl someday.
And pigs might fly, as if you could have been a dicewith your whole life and not know it.
I know how it sounds.
As if you could ever be an earl. 8 people would have to die for that to happen. How likely is that? Oh, no, don't go yet, your lordship.
Where are you off to in your pink dress?
To meet a friend with a motor car.
Does this friend have a name?
Lionel Holland. You're jealous of him, I can tell, because he has a motor car, and he's rich, and good looking. Is it really true about you being a dicewith?
Of course it is. I can show you the papers if you'd like.
Oh no, if you say it's true, of course I'll believe you. Darling, you barely spoke at the funeral. Are you quite all right? I should be inconsolable if I had lost my mother.
Sabella, I think it's time you took me seriously.
Oh, Monty, the men I marry will have wealth and position.
I will have wealth and position.
What would we live on until then?
Sabella, has it never occurred to you to marry for love?
Now you're being cruel.
Miss Howard, Mr. Lionel Holland is here for you.
And right on time, if only he weren't so predictable. Monty, where's my glove? You really are a love. Monty, don't look so blue. I don't know what I do. Oh, you know that it's true. I don't know what I do without you. Don't you just love me in pink?
Mr. Navarro, regarding your inquiry of my father, Lord Dicewith, dated 17 March 1907, after careful consultation,
With several members of the Dicewith family, it is my duty to inform you that we are unaware of the existence of your mother, and consequently, yourself. Therefore, it would be of no use for you to trouble the firm or the family again. And further, if you should ever attempt to call yourself by the name of Dicewith, we shall be forced to turn the matter over to our solicitors. Definitively.
Mr. Asquith Dysquith, Jr. Pigs might fly. Foolish to think she would marry you. Why would she sink so low? You've only a claim to a noble old name. Who could blame her for saying no? Foolish to dream she's in love with you. You're a fool to believe that kiss. The man who inspires such breathless desires, well, that's the man to dismiss. Foolish to hope she would ever see all that you really are. A man with no trade is no match, I'm afraid, for a blade in a motor car. He'll go far. Foolish to pray you will ever be the fellow she might prefer. Let's have a drink. It's foolish to think you'll ever stop loving her. On a mythical scale, the Dysquiths prevail on a hill just outside of town. In a castle they love that is so far above, they're accustomed to looking down. And the family ordains that the blood in my veins is more than a trifle impure. They conspired with each other, condemning poor mother to a heartbreaking life she could hardly endure. With no conscience or care, they disposed of an heir to their glorious family tree. So I lie down and die, determined to try to alter the course of my destiny. Otherwise, what will become of me? Am I foolish to think I will never be? Will I never be more than I am today? I can see me as a man of respect you could never detect, and once been so heartlessly cast away. Am I foolish to think I'll be Earl one day, a towering man among men? Then who could deny now and then pigs can fly? Who will look foolish then? Yes. Who will look foolish then?
Welcome to Visitors Day at Highhurst Castle, ancestral home of Lord Albert Dysquith, 8th Earl of Highhurst. It is from these very walls that Dysquith past defended themselves against King John,
Ooh.
who was to meet his rebellious barons at Runnymede.
Ah.
In the banqueting hall, you'll note a coat of mail worn by Richard the Lionheart.
Ooh.
Come along, come along. That'll be 6 pence, please.
Monty, 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 Monty Navarro, you know you don't belong here. Monty Navarro. is indubitably wrong here. May we suggest, we think you best abandon home. But go ahead and take the tour. As long as you are here, buy yourself a souvenir or two. But one thing more before you're out the door. Sibella will never marry you.
I say, you there, hands off that sword. Put down that book. Isn't it enough we let you look? I hate to dash your futile little hoops, but you pay your sixpence and stay behind the ropes. I cringe when every cobbler or butcher or farmer comes touching my banisters, banging my armor. They finger every finial, they poke your cornerstone. Who'd want to be reminded of what they'll never do? Though my politics are purely democratical, I find the species, frankly, problematical. I don't understand the poor, no, I don't understand the poor. The lives they lead of want and need, I should think it would be a bore. It seems to be nothing but stubbornness. What's all the suffering for? To be so debased is a terrible taste, I don't understand the poor.
To be so debased is a terrible taste, I don't understand the summarizer here, for he does not understand the poor.
I don't understand the poor, and they're constantly turning out more. Every festering Islam and Christendom is disgorging its young by the score. I suppose there's some with ambition, say the pickpocket beggar or whore. From what I can tell, they do quite well. They're rising above and it's what they love, but they don't understand the poor.
They're rising above and it's what they love, but they don't understand the poor.
Where's the dignity?
Where's the dignity?
Where's the pride?
Where's the pride?
Humanity. Teaching the dream and the fault decide. Why accept charity? I am perplexed by their attitude. I contend we extend them too much latitude. My tenants have no excuse. At Christmas I give them a goose. Where's the integrity? Where's the gratitude? I don't understand the poor. How I long for the days of yore, when narrowly a vassal stepped into your castle, they knew not to darken your door. Now they barge in every Tuesday, the sickening, thickening war. While clatter and trample, set an example, we teach them to read, but do they succeed when they're hungry and frail? We feed them in jail, we send them off to war. I don't understand, I'm not being grand, I don't understand the poor.
I don't understand, I'm not being grand, I don't understand.
There's one I admit I adore. He's missing a leg, but a very good egg. A gentleman through to the core. He may be a bit of a drinker. He can often be found on the floor. Through all of his pains, he never complains. He's bright and astute. A shame that he's mute. According to mother, he may be my brother. A fact we all choose to ignore. But I do understand I'm sensitive and I do understand the poor.
I don't understand, I'm sensitive and I don't understand.
There are pox on the land. I do understand the poor. Really, I don't.
Perhaps emboldened by my visit to High House, I was compelled to make one more attempt to connect with my mother's kin. The Reverend Lord Ezekiel Dysquith was the one parson in family and I envisioned that he, more than anyone, might receive me with sympathy.
Why, yes, of course I remember Isabel. Charming girl. Broke her father's heart. He and I spent our childhood summers together at Highhurst, you know. Glorious days, yes. Glorious days.
I'm afraid there's a great deal of family history that I haven't been privy
The
to.
chancel was added in 1621 by the first Earl himself. It holds 3 late 12th century windows depicting the martyrdom of Saint Ursula and her 11,000 virgins.
Ah,
Notice
yes.
the attenuated shaft swept unbroken from floor to ceiling. Perpendicular period, of course.
Why, of course.
I know. I must show you the tower. It's absolutely splendid.
So, then you might put in a good word for me, Lord Reverend, with the Dicewits, perhaps even with the Earl himself.
Oh, I really couldn't. No. I make it my business to stay out of family intrigue. Much better that way for everyone concerned.
Oh.
The Carolinian arches of my groin vault are pointed instead of round, recalling Palladio's Palazzo della Regione in Vicenza. You should also note that our belfry is early Romanesque, which retains a bit of Byzantine.
So you couldn't make an exception, in just this one case, perhaps for my charming mother, Isabel, or perhaps out of loyalty to my grandfather, your childhood playmate?
Well, that's it, isn't it? If Isabel's own father saw fit to disinherit her for her sins, who am I to deny his wishes? You'll have to lean a bit closer to the edge to truly appreciate the architectural significance of the flying buttresses. They're said to be influenced of the Cathedral Chartres.
So have you no Christian charity then?
Pardon?
What was a great sin after all? Only love?
Why, yes. Now, leaning backwards as I do. There, have you ever seen such horizontal thrust? Isn't it I'm afraid I shall need your hand, please.
Of course, my lord. Foolish to think I could let him fall. He's on the brink, it seems. But why should I pause when I know the cause of mother's shattered dreams?
I beg you!
What can I do for the Dicewits to repay their warm embrace? What can I take from the Dicewits except perhaps their place? But with 8 of the Dicewits ahead of me, their foolish pride survives. What can I take from the Dicewits except perhaps,
Please!
except perhaps their lives? Will look foolish then.
It was a windy day in Lincolnshire, rather typical for that time of year, and it was no secret among his flock that the Lord Reverend was prone to inebriation.
Had he deserved it? I couldn't say. But what I did know for certain was that in one moment my life had been changed forever. I now had a series of increasingly humiliating jobs.
Chop chop, Navai.
Chop chop!
Or else you'll be getting the truck.
I shuddered at the prospect of endless days of hopeless drudgery that other than men might grow rich. Men like Asquith Dicewith Jr., the man who had snubbed me so unmercifully when I wrote to his father. I discovered the young bounder was being assisted to sow his wild oats by a certain Evangeline Barley, a Floridora girl who had just recently completed a run at the music hall in Hackney. I discreetly observed their comings and goings.
Just fancy, Asquith, 3 whole days at the lake together. It will be perfect, won't it?
Our train leaves Waterloo at 7:30. Should be empty then.
I followed them to a wintry resort in Chiselmere.
Just fancy, Asquith, 3 whole days at the lake together. It will be perfect.
Chisholm is extraordinary out of season and quite private, though the hotel register has an unrivaled list of false names. I hope you don't mind our being discreet.
I've never known such a man to take care of my reputation.
Pardon me, miss, but do we know each other from somewhere?
Certainly not. What are you insinuating, you insignificant upstart?
I meant no offense, I assure
Were
you.
you raised in some chargy town by some cheechy puckin' what?
Oh, Asquith, look! There are people skating on the lake. Doesn't it look fun?
Oh, what a shame you didn't bring our skates.
We can rent them right on the dock.
It's looking a bit late, don't you think? Nearly time for ready bye.
Oh, Assie, please, let's.
Oh, all right, Condit. I say, may I warm my hands in yours? You and I go sailing by, and no one will know where to find us. Unseen, unknown, and blissfully alone, we're leaving the river behind us. All afternoon in our sweet cocoon, our cares for the moment at bay. Side by side, knows how far we'll glide, with the word goodbye, eagerly we fly away.
I am standing here with poison in my pocket, standing on this frozen little dock. It seems I just let them skate my opportunity away. If I'd had the poise to put the poison in a pot of tea or else a shot of gin, I would be back amid the noise of London by the end of day. But I am standing here with poison in my pocket, one eye on the target, one eye on the clock. It better happen soon before I lose my nerve and run. If I had a knife, I could have grabbed him and discreetly knocked him on the head and stabbed him, not to mention what I would have done if I had had a gun. Then again, the thought occurs, if I had truly taken stock, it might have stopped me putting poison in my pocket. What a fool to travel all this way and not think twice. Murder's not a hobby for the cautious. Thoughts of violence can make the timid nauseous. Unless, of course, the victim plunges headlong through the ice. It appears that I've been handed quite an opportune solution. All that still remains is proper execution. I better join them on the lake before it gets too late. Suddenly, there is no stumbling block. It seems that I won't need the poison in my pocket. What a stroke of luck, so better tease me till I learn to skate. Loosen out. Time is racing now. Time is racing on. It's all a matter of pacing. In a moment, this moment will be gone. The rhythm of a violinist, I'm soaring where I think the ice is sinister. Creative with the tragic lovers meet that you. One good fall is rather diabolic. It's a strange feel, even melancholic. Like maybe some remorse, of course, of conscience, I assume. But no, as I'm cussing, I am contemplating. And the truth is, it's a tad exhilarating. Even though it's not inconceivable, it's all because. Still, it was quite a shock. It seems not understanding here with poison in his pocket. Can this guy murdering was easier than he had thought.
Bid the world goodbye, eagerly we fly.
Away. All of this is frankly easier than I had thought.
plagued by the haunting terror that I had left a clue and sooner or later someone would come across it. I consoled myself by reading one of Mother's unanswered letters to Lord Asquith Senior, in which she pleaded with him to take pity on a woman alone with a son to raise. So it was a bit of a shock that not long after I should receive a letter from that very same man.
Dear Mr. Navarro,
Some time ago, you wrote claiming a relationship to the Dicewith family and asking us to some situation in which you might earn your living. I must apologize for our unsympathetic attitude on that occasion. Should you still be in need of a post, I shall be very glad if you will pay me a call.
yours very truly, Lord Asquith Dicewith Senior.
Oh, do you come in, Mr. Navarro? You were not like the Dicewiths, and yet there was something.
Oh. This was my mother.
We were not well acquainted. It is a very sweet face. Have you ever seen the family portrait Sidehurst?
Never.
Your mother looks extraordinarily like some of the women, and some of the men for that matter. Perhaps you're wondering why I suddenly came to write to you.
Yes, frankly, I am.
I don't know if you heard or not, but my only son recently passed away under somewhat tragic circumstances. A skating accident.
My sincerest condolences.
Thank you. You knew, of course, I was grooming him to succeed me, yes?
I did not.
Well, it is over. The past cannot be recalled. I should like to know if you would come into my firm. There could be no greater education in the business of stockbroking. Beyond that, I can make no promises.
My lord, I don't know what to say.
To begin with, you will earn £250 a year.
It is a very generous offer, especially since you'll be paying for the trouble of teaching me.
Here's a check for £20. You, may want to enhance your wardrobe. I will expect you here at 9 o'clock tomorrow. Good day, sir.
Isabella!
Oh, Monty! I've got wonderful news! Well, perhaps you won't think so. I'm engaged to Lionel Holland!
Oh, I should not be surprised. It's not unexpected. My best wishes to you both, naturally.
Oh, I do hope you come to the wedding. It is to be the 11th of May.
I shall enter it in my diary.
Monty, it's so strange. Everything will change. Think how our lives will be. I don't know what you'll do without me. Poor Monty, you're awfully handsome and smart. Poor Monty, you'll rise above. You'll put the looks of Sibella behind, and you will find someone better to love. Poor Monty, have I just broken your heart? Poor Monty, am I to blame? It may look bleak, but in a week I'll wager you have forgotten my name. I think I can picture her now, young and willing. Oh, it's thrilling. In a way, you'll have me to thank. She'll be perfect. A shop girl, a teacher, the sister of a preacher, or a widow with cash.
Dasquith Dysquith has invited me to join the family banking house in the city at quite a comfortable salary.
So what you told me was true, after all.
You should have never doubted it.
You've grown older, Monty. Not in looks, you still look like a boy, but now you look as if you had never, ever had a care in the world. Don't you want to kiss me?
What about Lionel?
What about him?
Isabella, I cannot act as though the very air you breathe is not to me love so narcotic.
Monty, don't.
Isabella, I have not yet given up on you. Come away with me, right now!
Don't torture me, Monty, please! I can picture us now very grand, in demand, always somewhere exciting to go. All of Mayfair will imitate us, love us and hate us for being the people. People want to know my husband will grow distinguished and gray. My husband will always be straight as a line, steady and fine, totally mine. Unfortunately, dry as a bone, and insufferable drone, dull as a stone. For me.
I believed I had lost Bella forever. In my heartbreak, I returned to Mother's letters. As you have the good fortune, as a Dysquith, to attend Cambridge, Mother wrote to her young cousin Henry, I know you can appreciate the disadvantages my son Montague will have if he is not permitted to matriculate.
Hello, birds. Hello, sky.
Of course, for Henry Dysquith, a Cambridge education was a mere formality, as he had been born into a life of leisure.
Just cause you and your sister already own half the county doesn't give you the right to buy out my land out from under me. What's been in my wife's family for generations?
I'm afraid you lost land to the bank, my friend. Not to me.
I ain't no friend of yours, you selfish toff!
I say, why don't we calm ourselves down?
Unhand this man at once, or I shall call for a constable!
Now look what you've done. Now leave here, or be brought up on charges.
Go on, Tom. I'm not going you, Dysquith! I'll soon come Kroger, I will!
Threats will get you nowhere, sir. I'll foreclose on the whole county if it suits me. It's time these peasants took responsibility for their own lives! I say, are you quite alright?
Yes, I think I'll live.
I must say, that was awfully good of you to step in like that.
Oh, it was nothing.
You've come from town, haven't you?
However could you tell?
Oh, one can always tell. It's the way town men put on their clothes. A little touch of personal appearance which portrays a little bit of exaggerated fashion. Town men think it's not too good form to wear clothes too well. Well, that's all rot. Let's see what happens around, shall we?
Come now.
It's the least I can offer in gallantry in aid of a total stranger. My name's Dysquith, by the way.
Mine's Navarro.
When a fellow needs a little helping hand, who'll be there, it's almost guaranteed. No one else could ever really understand, only another man knows what you need. And when a man has fallen down upon his knees, in such a moment we better than someone who's self-controlled, someone who's strong and bold, someone who's good as gold. It's better with a man.
Better with a man.
You agree, my friend?
Indeed I do. When a man is lonely, he can always find another man who's feeling just the same. Drink will help you get your troubles off your mind. You'll both be blind before you know his name. And in that rousing climax when your horse comes in such a moment, who would you love? Someone would see the meaning of victory. Oh, the camaraderie. It's better with a man.
Better with a man.
Women have much to recommend.
Lord knows I've had my share.
And a fellow needs a friend.
That's a totally different affair.
Women are soft against your skin. They're awfully nice to nestle with.
But when the sport is
masculine, you need a man to wrestle with.
Gentlemen have secrets they will
Gentlemen have secrets they will never tell. They'll never tell their wives.
Married men know, but there are things you must not say.
Discretion is the only way that love survives.
Men are always
Men are always there, always to share, take a race, and brothers, take a look at us. It's been ever thus since boarding school began.
Women are too complex.
Women too often vex. Men are a simpler sex.
It's better with a man.
Better with a man.
Better with a man.
Better with a man. Bottoms up! I think perhaps you ought to know who I am.
You're not a criminal, I suppose.
No, not exactly. But I am a cousin of yours.
A cousin?
Yes, we shared a mutual great-great-grandfather, Danforth Dysquith. You see, my father, he was Castilian, and worse, a musician.
I say, noblesse and oblige and all that.
I warn you, your sister may not care to receive me.
Oh, my sister. Should be civil. Come on. I say, it's quite a relief to have someone to talk to. I've got one or two fellows down on the fortnight, but at present, it's deadly.
Perhaps you ought to move to town.
Oh, I have a place in London, but I'm here Saturday to Monday. My sister keeps the estate going for me. Here is my honey shack. I look forward for you to meet my queen and her drones.
I shall be delighted to meet your wife.
Oh, no. My wife is in London and rarely comes to Salisbury. I was speaking of my bees. I developed a compulsion for beekeeping. I find that endlessly fascinating and deeply moving.
I should be afraid of being stung.
I assure you, it's nothing to be afraid of. One will just seem to kill you.
I suppose one would develop tolerance over time.
Quite, I say. It would take 100 bees to kill me now.
Could one really perish from a surfeit of bee stings?
Happened just last year to a man in Surrey. It was all over the papers. Come on.
I had so ingratiated myself to the beekeeper that I was soon invited back as a weekend guest. Just enough time for me to educate myself as to the extraordinary attraction of English lavender to your average honeybee. On my return to Salisbury, I paid a discreet visit to the honey shack as soon as I saw an opportunity.
Oh?
Oh.
Oh. Oh. Do pardon me, Miss Dysquith. I presume?
You are?
Montague Navarro. But please, do call me Monty.
My brother tells me you are a cousin?
Yes, my mother was Isabel Dysquith.
Isabel, do forgive me, but I don't recall ever hearing of her.
Shall I tell you why?
I wish you would.
You see, my father was considered unfit. And because my mother married for love, and not for wealth or position or
They
property,
cut her off.
without a shilling, they acted ever after as if my mother and I had never even been born.
Mr. Navarro!
I warned your brother he may not care to receive me.
On the contrary, I am most intrigued. What a beautiful story! Horrid, yes, I'm certain, but still beautiful. She dared to marry for love. Tell me, Mr. Navarro, does your father have his own fortune, or were you quite penniless? You must forgive me. He often scolds me for being indelicate.
No, not at all. My father, he left no legacy, but we managed to scrape by, mother and I.
When I think of the indignities you must have suffered, it must have inspired an awful resentment of the upper classes. Oh no! There I go again! Now I'm making assumptions about you! There's nothing I despise more than people making assumptions about me. I know they talk about me in the village. They see a girl who's rich, from an important family, and not unattractive, and they assume, well, they assume a lot of things. The truth is, none of them know me at all. Not who I truly am. An oyster shell itself is unassuming, but look inside, you'll find a world. The man who otherwise is unpresuming, they share the same blood as an earl. Do not dismiss her position. She can be tender-minded, have no doubt. The world might be in awfully good condition if we could all live inside out.
You have a refreshing way of putting things, Miss Dysquith.
No belladonna is my favorite flower. I love its shape and its perfume. You'd likely join the angels in an hour, should you ingest its rather deadly bloom. A man who seems so hard on a virtue may be a scoundrel, bitter, cursed in sin. There would be many fewer who'd have hurt you if we could all live outside in. And everyone you meet on any London street, it could be sweet or horrid, it would show. I would be overjoyed, the heartache I'd avoid, if I could look at you and know.
I have so often had similar sentiments, Miss Dysquith.
And when I meet the man for whom I'm fated, I know the one I've waited for is here, for he will find these wealthy trappings overrated, and he will see what no one sees in me, a girl who reads the perfect sonnet, who needs no golden rule to fill her cup, a girl who thinks beyond her bonnet. He'll be of gentle heart and good.
in the change in how we see would be events.
If we live right side left,
Or even left side right,
right side back,
or back side front would shed a better light. Black might just be white, day might just be night. If we knew the truth about each other's side.
now will life just make sense.
Naturally, I did everything I could to console her. I shall confess it occurred to me at the funeral that, should I achieve my goal of becoming Earl, I could find no finer woman to be my Countess than Miss Phoebe Dysquith. Needless to say, I was greatly relieved that, as a woman of my own generation, Miss Dysquith did not stand before me in the line of succession. But there were women of my mother's generation who did precede me in the lineage. As a girl, Mother had been closest to her cousin Hyacinth. Now an unmarried woman of a certain age, her latest charitable venture had secured her a place atop the pecking order of society's elite.
I am proud to stand amongst the dull-witted of Greater London.
Lady Hyacinth had a virtual monopoly on the feeble-minded, but her valiant efforts disintegrated into scandal when her beneficiaries turned out not to be so dull of wit after all.
A whole year's worth of donations stolen? If I'm ever to show my face in society again, I've got to find a new cause, and quickly! Come, any ideas?
Daisy Greywood has the old.
Lady Sitwell has the blind.
And the fund for sailors' widows.
That's the two of them combined.
Night school for the nervous.
Lady Beach for Margaret Guest.
Crutches for the crippled.
That voice and sing.
Wayward widow.
Daisy Greywood, who's behind this figure plan? Daisy Greywood,
And the deaf.
don't tell me it's Greywood yet again. Everyone's got something, can't you see why I'm bereft? I want to do some good, but what the devil's left? What the devil's left?
Pardon me, Miss Dysquith.
Yes, speak up, what is it?
Baron Philpott, madam, of the Foreign Office. We met last month at the Consumptives' Ball.
Oh, yes. You're looking much better, if I do say so myself.
If I might, madam, one hears about such terrible poverty in Egypt these days.
Egypt. Land of the pharaohs, of Moses the Israelite, home to the great pyramids and the Sphinx.
Yes, but now home to disease and starvation, of desperate and abandoned children, a land in need of a new heroine, dare I say, a modern-day Cleopatra.
That's it. We populate an orphanage in Cairo, with families from the reeds along the Nile, to watch a creature grow, to swaddle it and know the joy of its pathetic little smile. The news will travel soon enough to London. Our selflessness will meet with great acclaim. The sniping will be stilled, and the empire will be filled with homes for bastard children in my name. All aboard the Luxor Express to Cairo.
failed to mention that a violent uprising against the Empire was imminent, and that no British citizen was considered safe. So you can imagine my surprise when Lady Hyacinth returned to London quite unharmed.
I couldn't possibly. The degradation, the deprivation.
But what about the children?
Beggars and thieves, the lot of them. Imagine not rising for God save the King. Oh, where will my lasses be truly appreciated? I need a place so low that hope itself has been abandoned.
You've heard, of course, of the untouchables in India.
India, land of the Hindus and Muslims, of tamarind and saffron, exotic and unknowable. That's it. We'll find ourselves some lepers in the Punjab. The hopeless and the wretched and the cursed. Forgotten and unblessed, I'll shake them to my breast. A lazy girl doesn't get their thirst. When we arrive, they'll hobble out to greet us. Their toothless grins will melt a heart of stone. And every dead will envy me and want a colony of lepers of her own. Now, not a word to even your mothers till we leave. Oh, no. Come to think of it, what is the point of helping others unless you let the whole world know? Call the Times of London.
I seem to have forgotten about the malaria pandemic in the Punjab. Just a bit of insurance in case leprosy itself failed to prove contagious. So you can imagine my shock when Lady Hyacinth returned to London in record time. Quite the picture of health.
The dear, disgusting lepers. A terribly restrictive caste system. They refused to accept our help. It got to the point where they ran away at the mere sound of my voice.
I don't suppose you'd be willing to penetrate the jungle of deepest, darkest Africa.
Africa. From Zululand to Yoruba, all the proud warriors, their naked torsos wrestling in the firelight. We'll civilize a village in the jungle.
The jungle!
It can't take long to learn their mother tongue.
Not long, no.
Words they have are 6, and 5 of them are clicks, and all of them are different words for done. Oh, can't you see their frightful painted faces? They'll teach us how to sweep from line to line. It's Daisy Gravel to us. She'll never come across a tribe of backward natives worse than mine.
The Hottentots and Pygmies may appall
us, but even they are part of God's design. Oh, we bid you all goodbye.
Goodbye.
All blooded try to find a tribe of natives worse than mine. Charity toward others is divine.
Divine, charity is divine. Oh, I may have neglected to mention that she was headed straight for a particularly noteworthy tribe of cannibals.
Times of London, late edition. Society lady disappears in darkest Africa.
Lady Hyacinth ruled in tribal incidents.
Society lady found alive.
Lady Hyacinth will be greeted by thousands.
No, stay there. Let me just... Here is the report you requested, sir.
Excellent work, Montague. Do you know, I was astonished to discover how close you are to the succession.
I had no idea, sir.
Let us consider. If Lord Adelbert, the present Earl, should die, there are only 2 others who precede you. That is, of course, I myself am out of the way.
Perish the thought, sir.
Continue on as you are doing, Montague, and who knows what may happen. Look at him, no denying his humble star, but it fills up this poor old heart when I see how well he's done. Monty, what is your current salary?
400 per annum, sir.
Let's make it 5, shall we? Look at him, all the loyalty he has shown, all my fondness for him has grown, till he's almost like a son. Some might have thought him unsuitable, but they were of course incorrect. Who would think that the dice with we cast aside could become such a source of pride? He's the last one you'd expect.
Monty, it's wonderful. I'm so happy for you.
Things have changed, haven't they?
And
To think I was living in a third-rate terraced house in Clapham.
I suppose we're both doing rather well. We honeymoon at Firenze. That's Florence, you know.
Is it? Just you and Lionel, and all those marble statues. However could you tell them apart?
Monty, you're horrid. Lionel, I never would have guessed good looks could bore so soon.
I tend to find that good-looking people who are stupid tend to test one's nerves much sooner than just plain people who are stupid. At least plain people do feel they must make an effort.
Lionel is not only stupid, he is vulgar.
Let's not discuss your honeymoon, shall we?
It's not. Who'd have believed that Monty Navarro ever would come so far so fast? Never have seen a man so keen to overcome his past. Now he can live in princely fashion as the dice with name requires. He can pursue with all his passion everything he desires. I must go.
Will I see you again?
Of course. Some might have thought him unsuitable, but they were of course incorrect. I always believed in Monty Navarro, even though in retrospect, who'd have believed whose bell I'd ring this very afternoon? Tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Only just a patch from my protracted honeymoon. He's the last one you'd expect.
All right, I'm done now. Can I steal one of those? Thank you. The problem with this country, Mr. Goodbody, is that everybody is weak. Have you studied eugenics, my friend? We have to find a way to prevent the unfit from multiplying themselves. If we fail, I'm afraid the empire is likely to slip through England's grasp.
Unthinkable, Major Dicewith.
I spent the weekend at Highhurst with my cousin, the Earl. Do you know of him?
I know of him, of course.
The gluttony, the endless extravagant meals.
I'm afraid my constitution would not tolerate such indulgences. I was raised a strict vegetarian.
Why, I stand on the council of the London Vegetarian Society as well.
I had no idea.
Oh, what luck our meeting! Is that yogurt culture, my friend? Delicious. A natural laxative. Why, I myself had a yogurt enema just the other day. I thought, why not skip the middleman, eh? What? Right. Now I'm going to bench my own weight. 170 pounds.
Do you think it wise, Major Dysquith?
Of course not. Flank me, will you?
Of course, my lord.
Now if I crawl up before the count often, and I may, do not help me. Understood?
Quite.
Is the one,
1,
2, much?
2,
3.
3,
Mr. Goodbody?
4. Do call me Phineas.
No more.
More, you said?
What?
Pardon me, Mr. Navarro is here to see you.
Look at me, so completely disarray, barely able to face the day. Shall I save it fool? Shall it the stronger marry? Look at me, I'm so terribly great and great, yet I'm cheered by the thought of him, rather more than I suppose. Henry had a great admiration for you, Mr. Navarre. He thought you the gayest person he'd ever met.
No one could help loving him.
Henry was not a perfect man, but I was deeply devoted to him. I'm afraid now I miss him for lost.
It is but a short ride from London, should you ever need me. For anything. Anything at all.
Some might have thought him unsuitable, but what cause would they to object? Who but he stood beside me to comfort me? Out of all my family, he's the last one you expect.
Lady Salome Dysquith from her returns to the stage.
Lady Salamir's had the goblet.
Seats still available.
Oh, dear me. I didn't shoot you, did I?
Boy, what are you shooting at?
I just look up and shoot into the big blue sky. Bang!
If justice had prevailed, Lady Salome would have been slaughtered by the critics, thus relieving me of the job.
When I look at it now, there is this hidden intimacy shared by no other living soul. Oh, you brute!
Remembering the climax of the play, I managed to slip real bullets into Lady Salome's gun.
Herself in the temple. Shot herself.
The crowd leapt to its feet. Tragically, Lady Salome did not.
Look at him,
Him now,
new denying his humble star.
have guessed.
But it fills up this poor
I am impressed
heart
how he's progressed.
when I see how well he's
A wife who reads her
taught.
obligations is allowed to have her fun.
Look at him now.
loyalty.
Look what he's shown.
My fondness for him.
My fondness has grown till he's almost like a son. Some might have thought him unsuitable, but if they took a pause to reflect,
They would seize on his matchless abilities.
he's the best of the breed, though he's the last one you'd expect. There seems to be a terrible curse on this family. Has it struck you what this means to you?
Sir, the possibility always seems so remote.
There is no doubt business has improved under your care. I shall like to double your current wages and announce to the firm that I appoint you my successor.
Your lordship, there are no words. Only two people left still alive who stand between the earldom and me. Only two who survive who are still above me. On the Dicewith family tree is the next one. My employer, Asquith Dicewith, but he treated me so well, how ungrateful to remove him after all his kindness. Oh, what hell! But remember, he was hateful. Asquith Dicewith was the cause of mother's grief. He denied her, vilified her, took away her birthright like a thief. On the other hand, has he not been rather decent, making me successor? Must admit I hate to do it. I've grown rather fond of him and.
Pardon me, Mr. Navarro.
It is my sad duty to report that Lord Asquith Dicewith has gone to his great reward.
Oh no! What happened?
Heart attack. At least he did not suffer, sir.
Only one person left still alive who stands between the earldom and me. Only one above me on the tree.
Thanks to him I have been renewed by his virtue and fortitude. He's the last one who left.
After the tragic demise of Lady Salome, the death of Lord Asquith Dicewith brings to 7 the number of Dicewiths to the family fortune that have died since last year, leading one Montague Navarro next in the succession.
How very lucky for Monty Navarro. How astounding!
How peculiar.
It is astounding and peculiar, yes, how utterly peculiar. Monty Navarro, how have you come so very far? Monty Navarro, and it's still circumspect. Monty Navarro, who we really are, who would never suspect?
Monty Navarro,
Navarro, Navarro, Monty Navarro.
I am the next Earl of High